Stop trying to quiet the noise around you and listen. God is speaking, and you must learn to hear his voice clearly in the midst of a chaotic world where distractions abound, and every day seems to blur into the next. You feel the weight of confusion and uncertainty pressing in, yet hidden within that overwhelming clamor is a divine whisper that beckons you to return to a state of spiritual clarity. And as you pause and open your heart, you begin to notice the subtle signs that can only be recognized through a willingness to tune out the world's static and lean into a personal dialogue with the Almighty. For his voice is not always loud or dramatic, but often quiet and persistent, inviting you to a deeper relationship with him in ways that are both shocking in their simplicity and profound in their impact. And if you have been struggling with the question of how to discern his gentle promptings amidst the noise, know that the journey begins with creating a sacred space in your daily life. A deliberate pause filled with prayer and silent reflection where you can cast aside a barrage of digital chatter and worldly concerns, making room for the still, small voice that speaks directly to the core of your being, as urged in 1 Kings 19. And in that silence, you start to perceive the gentle nudges of truth that guide you toward decisions aligned with God's purpose, even when those choices challenge your long-held assumptions or force you to confront the hidden parts of your soul that have been dulled by routine and neglect. The process of hearing God's voice clearly is not instantaneous, but gradual rekindling of your inner spiritual sensitivity, a transformation that requires you to return to the scriptures, to immerse yourself in passages that remind you of his unchanging love and guidance, such as Romans 8 verse 28, which assures you that all things work together for good, even though his good purpose may sometimes seem hidden behind a veil of everyday trials. And in the quiet moments of early morning or the peaceful solitude of a reflective walk, you may suddenly feel that unmistakable stirring in your heart, the divine presence that whispers words of reassurance, conviction, and hope, guiding you to step forward on a path of righteousness even when the way seems uncertain. For it is in those very moments of vulnerability that God's instructions become most lucid, delivered not through booming proclamations, but rather through intimate, personal insights that compel you to act with renewed faith and determination. You might find that as you commit to regular prayer and meditation, you begin to discern a pattern or a rhythm in these divine messages, noticing that even the smallest of signs, a passing word from a friend, a sudden clarity during a difficult decision, or the serendipitous discovery of a meaningful Bible verse, carries a weight far beyond its immediate appearance, as if each of these moments is a deliberate stitch in the fabric of your life, intricately woven by the one who created you for a purpose far greater than mere existence. And by engaging in the spiritual practice, you not only sharpen your ability to hear his voice, but also cultivate a deeper sense of inner peace and alignment with his eternal plan, trusting that every whisper you catch is a reminder of his promise to be with you always. For as James 1 verse 5 encourages you to ask God for wisdom without doubting, so too must you approach each moment with an open heart ready to receive the guidance that flows from his divine source. And as you continue to practice this sacred listening, you realize that God communicates through multiple channels, whether it's through the counsel of a trusted mentor, the comforting lines of a beloved hymn, or even the silent testimony of nature that reflects his creative majesty. And each of these forms of communication is a vital piece of the puzzle that helps you construct a clear understanding of his will for your life, a vision that illuminates the path forward even in times of uncertainty. And while the process may sometimes be fraught with moments of doubt and difficulty, know that every trial you face, every moment of perceived silence, and every instance of confusion is an invitation to trust more deeply, to let go of preconceived expectations, and to embrace the transformative power of a heart that listens intently to the divine. For the promise of hearing God's voice clearly is not reserved for a select few, but is available to every soul that is willing to surrender to his loving guidance. And as you refine the sacred ability, you begin to experience an inner revolution where fear gives way to hope, uncertainty is replaced by steadfast assurance, and the mundane routines of everyday life become opportunities to encounter the extraordinary presence of God in even the simplest acts of living. And in this renewed state of spiritual awakening, you come to understand that the clarity you gain is not solely for your own benefit, but serves as a beacon to others who may be lost in the darkness of spiritual slumber. For your journey towards hearing his voice is also a powerful testimony of his faithfulness, a living example of how an open heart and a willing spirit can transform even the most ordinary moments into extraordinary displays of divine connection. And with every step you take along this illuminated path, you are challenged to discard the habits and distractions that keep you from truly experiencing the fullness of His communication, choosing instead to create space for silence, to engage earnestly in heartfelt prayer, and to immerse yourself in the timeless truths of the Bible that serve as both anchor and compass in a turbulent world. And as you forge ahead with this commitment, you encounter the undeniable reality that God's voice is not abstract or distant, but as near as your own heartbeat, a constant, intimate presence that guides you through life's complexities and instills in you a sense of purpose that transcends the ordinary. For in those rare moments of clarity when you feel the divine whisper penetrate the noise, you are reminded that you are loved beyond measure, and that each step you take in faith is a testament to His enduring promise of salvation, hope, and transformative love. And as you stand at the threshold of this renewed spiritual journey, challenge yourself to silence the clamor of the outer world and to embrace the profound invitation to truly listen. For the moment has come for you to awaken your inner senses, to recognize that God's voice is patiently waiting to lead you toward a future filled with light, joy, and endless possibility. So step boldly into the sanctuary of your own heart, where the divine conversation unfolds with every breath you take, and allow yourself to be transformed by the clear, compelling call of the Almighty, a call that insists you rise above the noise, trust in the subtle yet powerful guidance offered to you, and commit to a life illuminated by the eternal truth that you are never alone. For the journey towards hearing God's voice clearly is not a destination, but a continuous, vibrant pilgrimage of faith, renewal, and unwavering devotion. And as you embrace this truth, remember that every moment spent in pursuit of His whisper is an investment in the treasure of eternal purpose, a promise that echoes in the halls of heaven and resonates throughout every fiber of your being. So now, without hesitation or distraction, answer the call to refine your spiritual hearing, to engage in the sacred art of listening with an open and discerning heart, and to allow God's voice to lead you into a future where every challenge, every joy, and every twist of your life's journey becomes a harmonious note in the grand symphony of divine purpose. And as you continue on this path, hold fast the conviction that the clarity of His voice will never fade as long as you remain steadfast in your commitment to seek and obey, transforming your life into a living testimony of the power of unwavering faith and the everlasting promise of His guidance. And embrace this challenge now, for the time to awaken is upon you, and every beat of your heart echoes the divine invitation to hear God's voice clearly and respond with an unyielding spirit that shapes a future brimming with hope, purpose, and transcendent light. And let this be your final, resolute call to action. Rise, listen, and let the unmistakable whisper of His love lead you into fullness of the abundant life He has prepared for you. Embrace this calling with all your heart, recognizing that every moment you invest in silence and reflection prepares you to face life's challenges with renewed courage. For God's gentle whisper is a constant reminder of His unfailing love and eternal promise that no matter how dark the night may be, dawn is always on the horizon. And the beauty of each new day is a testimony to the miraculous power of faith. So step forward boldly, for the voice of God awaits your attentive ear and a willing heart to truly transform your life.